You believe that this is Garib Kalyan, not Sarkar Bachao. Dr. Ranganathan, you know, while the opposition is calling this Kursi Bachao, let's not forget that before the Modi government, came into, took oath of office for the third term, many in India Alliance made lofty promises to woo Mr. Naidu and Nitish Kumar. Some even promised a special status to Andhra Pradesh. What was that? If this is Kursi Bachao, was that Sarkar Banao?
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Very quickly, I have 3 points to make because you have other erudite panelists waiting for their turn. Number one, I don't know whether it is Kursi Bachao, and I think that's very disparaging because obviously they're coalition partners, and yes, politics has been played. Interestingly, it would be quite revealing to find out whether 60,000 crores for Bihar and I think it's 30,000 crores for Andhra, whether were they promised in the interim budget that happened before the elections and what was promised for these two states in the interim budget. That would be quite revealing, or what has been promised before that. Be that as it may, yes, I take the point of Dr. Manjunath that if Bihar and Andhra are to progress, then India is to progress, absolutely right. But then, as you know, Mr. Patnaik has come out in his press conference tonight and said, look, Odisha also has been demanding a special status and a lot of, justified remunerations that haven't happened. Odisha also qualifies, he says, as a backward state that needs a lot of investment. So there are a lot of other states in addition to Bihar and Andhra that would want this amount of money that has gone quote unquote disproportionately to Bihar and Andhra. Be that as it may, that's a political decision. And you are absolutely right, Pranesh. If Congress was in the same seat, they would have made even more concessions to these two states if they were coalition partners. We've seen what happened in 2004 to 2014. That's point number one. Point number two, as far as my good friend Kamru Zamanji is concerned, well, it is all about, let me be very honest, whether you believe the data that has been put out or you don't believe the data that has been put out. Do you, for example, believe that RBI CLEMS data, and CLEMS is a very reputed agency that says that in the last 10 years, 125 million jobs have been created? If you don't believe it, then you can't do anything and you will keep on crying from the rooftops that unemployment is an issue, unemployment. If you don't believe the fact that last year, unemployment was its slowest at 3.1%. If you don't believe that, then you will say an unemployment issue. If you don't believe the RBI data
Ramesh,
that says, sir, please let me finish, Kamruji, and then you will have your chance. If you don't believe the data that inflation in 2014 was 11%, today it is 4.5 to 5%, then yes, be my guest, you would say inflation is an issue. So it is depending upon whether you believe the data or you don't, you will say this is in dire need of addressing. That's point number two. Finally, point number three. Pranesh, for me, what qualifies as a great budget is that will it allow India to jump from treadmill to travelator? That is what qualifies as a great budget. And I would say amongst all budgets, no budget is that groundbreaking that it would make this transition from a treadmill, which we are on right now, to a travelator, which we want to be. Now, I'll tell you why this is not happening, because you have to be very honest about it. Narendra Modi ji is a blessed man. And I'll tell you why. Because all the decisions he has taken in the interest of the nation, the opposition has attacked them and outraged it. And all the decisions he has taken against the interest of the nation, the opposition has backed him. For example, the repeal of the farm laws. The single greatest reform in independent India were those 3 farm laws that were promised by the opposition in all their manifestos. When Modi brought them, they said, no, this is the wrong, these are black laws. That is one sector that is crying out for reforms that would have catapulted us to a middle income economy, which is what we want. We cannot be Viksit Bharat if our GDP remains at $2,500 dollars per capita, which is ranked 136 below even Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. The other issue is privatization. There has been almost zero privatization other than Modi in not privatizing anything. It's the opposition again. Every year, the government spends 9 lakh crores in propping up 1,830 public sector units. 400 of them are non-functional. They are leeching tens of thousands of crores without producing anything. And yet the opposition supports zero privatization. So unless
no, so you're accusing the opposition of cherry-picking data to suit its narrative. Mr. Gandhi, you've been listening to this intently, and I'm sure you're aware of the larger commentary around the budget. How's this a Sarkar Bajao or Kursi Bajao budget?
See, this is nothing but a political budget of BJP to satisfy its alliance partners. In fact, it appears that the budget is prepared in Hyderabad House and Bihar Bhavan in Delhi and not by Union Home Ministry, Union Finance Ministry. See, the way the Union government is giving a stepmotherly treatment to states that voted out BJP. No substantial schemes for Tamil Nadu, Kerala, or even Maharashtra, whereas the schemes are only for Andhra Pradesh or Bihar. Let's keep one thing in mind as far as the asymmetrical taxation and asymmetrical fund collection is concerned. States like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Kerala are net contributor states. For every 1 rupee which Tamil Nadu pays to the center, it gets back only 29 paise. Likewise, every 1 rupee Kerala pays to the center, it gets back only 30 paise. Whereas Bihar gets back 7.5 rupees for each 1 rupee. And even in the current financial year, when we talk about the GST collection, the collection of Bihar is only 1,992 crore rupees. And Andhra is only 4,850 crore rupees. Whereas Tamil Nadu, it is hoping 12,210 crore rupees. In spite of this asymmetrical collection, in spite of this large contribution to the center, what Tamil Nadu has got? Nothing. Whereas Andhra and Bihar, they are giving around 15,000 crores, and Bihar they are giving, Andhra 26,000 crores, and Bihar they are giving 50,000 crores. This will only create a mistrust between the states and the center. That is our problem. And even in the last year, if you see the way the union government has treated Tamil Nadu, we have got 2 natural calamity in Chennai. And our demand was around 37,000 crores, whereas the union government gave only 270 crores. This is the problem. So the budget is not creating an equal level playing field. Here the union government and Mr. BJP want to keep his seat. That's it. That is the reason why he is keeping Bihar.
Okay, so you are saying that the contributions haven't decided the allocation. Coalition has. But you said that this is a political budget. You mentioned Maharashtra. Maharashtra goes to polls later this year. But look, had this been a political budget, you would have seen schemes galore for Maharashtra, which the government hasn't.
Now, currently, the Honorable Prime Minister is interested to save his kursi, not to get elected in Maharashtra. Let's understand the whole thing.
Okay.
It is immaterial whether they come, as far as Prime Minister and as far as Home Minister is concerned, they are only interested in saving their kursi.
Okay. Dr. Ranganathan, respond to that.
No, just a very brief point to my good friend Mr. Gandhi. Hyderabad House has got nothing to do with Andhra Pradesh. Just a small clarification. It's a house that is used by the center. No, but he does have a point to make, and I think it's a very sensible, reasonable point. When in the budget, you disproportionately gave a lot of money to, let's say, 2 states, whereas 7 states or 8 states might need it. And let me actually, Mr. Gandhi, with due respect, not include the prosperous states in it, because as you would also agree, it is every Indian government's duty to prop up the states that are poorer. The fact of the matter is that how much the state gets and how much the center gets from the state is decided by the Finance Commission, and the Modi government has actually increased the contribution that it makes to the states. But that is over and above that. I take your larger point.
I want to come in for 1 minute as a reply to my good friend, Mr. Ranganathan. See, we are not against giving funds to Bihar or Andhra Pradesh or even Uttar Pradesh for that matter. But how long you will give the funds? And if we give the funds, they have to at least show some improvement. Otherwise, even if we go for World Bank's loan also, or IMF's conditionalities, they impose conditionalities. Whereas
let's now address the other point. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, the Congress is claiming credit for abolition of the angel tax. But the angel tax was started by the Congress in 2012.